Hello and welcome to our virtual yoga class. My name is Vanessa and I'm here to support you for the rest of the class. We'll begin by laying on our backs, noticing that as we transition to lay on our mats, we're practicing yoga. This is a holistic yoga practice. So we're practicing shifting our attention to our breath to support that bridge of the physical, mental, emotional bodies. We're going to inhale here, exhale, side out, softening your neck, shoulders, down the length of your spine, the length of your legs. Start to notice those points of contact where your head touches the mat, where your heels touch the mat. Noticing that we're arriving to this present moment, letting go of our to-do lists, creating a little bit more space between the habits of our thoughts, and noticing the body. Use this as a skill you're cultivating as you're exploring all the poses and any of its combination of strength, balance, flexibility. Let's inhale here and exhale side out. You can rest your hands on your belly, your chest. You can drop your hands, frame your hips. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhaling, noticing that release. Inviting your breath to support you in your concentration, simultaneously noticing what's arising for you. Without judgment. Part of this class is also the purposeful cultivation of inner stillness and spaciousness. And I use the word cultivating purposely. It's something that we have to tend to. It's not something we're just naturally good at. Invite a generous breath. The type of whole breath we can go back to at any time during your week. Two more intentional breaths here, inhaling, exhaling. Notice that second cycle of breath. And then lift your arms up overhead, point your toes. Interlace your fingers, lift your chest, your abdomen up towards the ceiling. Notice what's open, what's sore. And then release that full body stretch. Bend your right knee, extend that foot up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Second cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then bend your knee, grab your knee with your hands, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, chin towards chest, and drop your head back. Left side, we bend our left knee, lengthen our leg, interlace your fingers behind our thigh. Breathing into your hamstrings here, simultaneously softening neck and shoulders. You have a tendency to unnecessarily tense up or crunch there. Notice the beginning of your breath, notice the bottom of your breath, and then release. Bend your left knee, grab your knee with your hands, round your spine, forehead towards knee, chin towards chest. Drop your head back, bend both knees, both feet float off the floor, grab your knees, 3 rounds, forehead towards your knee. I'm going to invite a full rounding here of your spine. And after those 3 rounds, palms onto the mat, lengthen your legs, flex your feet. Breathe into your hamstrings. You can invite a little bend to your knees, fold over. Belly towards the thighs, hands can reach thighs, shins or toes. Use your breath to support you and noticing where you are in your flexibility. Feet can be flexed or you can soften your feet. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Bring both soles of the feet together, leading through your chest. Fold over, belly towards the floor. Elbows can rest in the creases right behind your knees. Another practice of flexibility here. Breathe into your boundaries. See where can you fold just a little bit more. And it's not just about folding where your belly is dropping towards the floor. It can be about opening the chest and extending the spine. That might increase the fold as well. Shoulders slide down, spine is long, chest is open. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Transition into your tabletop. Hands right beneath your shoulders, knees, hips with distance apart. We're going to open up our hips, stretch our quads, bend our right knees, bend our knees. The more you bend your knee, the more you activate a stretch in the quad. Stack your hips here. Press through your palms firmly, and now round your spine, chin and knee towards chest. Drop your knee. Opposite side, lift your left leg, bend your knee. Stack your hips to the left. Round your spine, knee and chin towards chest. Drop your knee onto the mat. Inhale, left cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose. 2 more times, inhaling up. Exhaling, rounding your spine. That's your second round. Move into your third round. And then after you've completed that third round, lift up, downward facing dog. We're gonna activate our imagination here, imagining breathing into the pores of our skin, exhaling through the pores of our skin. Generous breath, ribcage expands. You bring your chest closer towards your thighs as you grip the mat with your palms and fingers. Heels are lifted, you're breathing into the backs of your legs. Notice your upper body strength. Breathe into this inversion, softening your neck, your head. Now take your gaze between your hands, walk your chin butt to that forward fold. We're gonna roll up slowly, head comes up last. Allow your arms to dangle. Make this a purposeful practice of slowing down. Mountain pose, hands framing your hips. We're gonna invite an active mountain pose. Eyes open or closed. If your eyes are open, keep your gaze steady. A steady gaze is a steady mind. In your mountain pose, eyes closed, you're looking at that one point across the floor or room. You're activating your strength here. If I try to move you, it'd be difficult to do so because you're grounded. Imagine if I tried to push you. It'd be hard to do that because you're grounded in this mountain pose. How does your body activate here? Spread your palms and fingertips. Chest open, arms radiate out. Chin is neutral. Notice that physical strength in this stillness and spaciousness that we're cultivating. Now soften your mountain pose. Notice that different inner experience. We soften our palms. Soften the pose. We take one breath, noticing this contrast. And now lift your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels halfway or all the way up. Steady gaze, steady mind. So when we're overthinking or thinking a lot, we tend to flicker our eye. It's all about. Keep your gaze steady. Arrive to your breath. Welcome this moment. Heels lifted all the way up as high as you can or halfway. Release your hands, interlace your fingers. Either palms touch or they don't. Bring your shoulder blades closer together. Open up your chest. I'm very purposely knitting my shoulder blades closer together. I lift my gaze and lift my chin ever so slightly. And then leading through my chest, my heart, breathing into my hamstrings, softening my neck and head, pull down to that forward fold. Elbows remain extended behind me, purposely bringing my shoulder blades closer together. Drop your hands, 3 rounds. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale. Release, second round, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, third round, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. You can either roll up slowly or sweep your arms up overhead, make it your practice. Always make those little variations that make this practice your yoga practice. Mountain pose, hands in front of your heart center or framing your hips. Taking a moment to notice the inner stillness you're cultivating. Noticing by welcoming our breath, we're welcoming ourselves. And release. Warrior 2, we're going to take our left foot forward and our right leg steps back. Right foot is in a diagonal. We have a 90-degree bend to that left knee. Take your gaze over that left hand. Engage your glutes. Inhale. Exhale. Lift your arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Back to center, warrior two. Keep your gaze steady. Grounding through your heels, arms radiate. You want to imagine a line of energy from one fingertip to the other fingertip. Shoulders slide down, breathe and sink into that left hip. And now drop that left elbow right on top of your thigh. Lift your right arm up. Take a breath here. And extend that left knee. Drop your hand to your shin or all the way down towards the floor. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Reach up with that right arm. And then exhale, spin down. Take your hands forward. Your hands are beneath your shoulders. Press to that left foot. Lift your right leg. Drop your belly towards your thighs. Soften neck and head. Right foot meets that left foot. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release your choice. How you come up to standing. You can roll up slowly or sweep your arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, either expression of your mountain pose. Release your hands, balance. Let's lift our arms up, interlace your fingers. Palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels halfway or all the way up. Keep your gaze steady. Activate core, glutes, and quads. Release. Cup your forearms with your hands or elbows. You can also come into a reverse prayer. I'll go ahead and demonstrate. So again, forearms, that's one choice. Elbows is another choice. Or reverse prayer. Take your hands from your lower back. Try to lift it as much as you can. Lift your chin, your gaze up. Little arch to your spine, hold. And then exhale, release, interlace your fingers, shoulder blades draw closer together, bend your knees, lean down with your chest, elbows extend behind you, neck and head soften as you fold. Feel free to hear your inhale and exhale. And then release your hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, second round. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, third round. Inhale, halfway up. After that third round, your choice, how you come up to standing. Hands in front of your heart center, or hands framing your hips. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And now release. We'll shift into our warrior two. This time, our right foot steps forward, our left leg steps back. We bend our knee. Legs are active, gaze steady. Take your gaze over that right hand. And now release that left hand right behind your thigh. Lift your right arm up, hold. And then back to center, inhale here. Exhale. Rest your forearm, elbow onto your thigh. Lift your left arm up. Sink into that right hip. Inhale. Exhale, release, spin down. Take your hands forward, lift your left leg as high as you can. Soften your neck, your head here. Inhale here. Exhale. Release your foot. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale. Release. And then lift up to standing. Either sweeping your arms up overhead or rolling up slowly in either expression of our mountain pose. I apologize for that little phone sound there. Hands in front of your heart or hands framing your hips. Eyes closed or open. We inhale and exhale for the day we've cultivated. We inhale and exhale for our breath and our experience. We inhale and exhale for that stillness and spaciousness that's always available in our bodies. Release and soften your hands. We'll shift into a tree pose, taking our left foot to rest against our ankle. We're going to take our foot up towards our shin or our thigh. See where your range is right now at this time of day on this side of the body. And then hands can come into different expressions. Hands in front of your heart center, hands framing your hips, arms overhead in different expressions. A steady gaze is a steady mind. Inhale. Exhale. Open up your hip. And now release your hands, release your feet, pedal your feet back and forth. Now opposite side, right foot against your ankle or lift that foot up towards your thigh. Steady gaze. Deep belly breath. Try not to hold your breath. Sometimes in balance, we have a tendency to hold our breath. So deep embodied breath here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, release your balance pose. We'll contrast that with a chair pose. Bend your knees, arms shoot out, very grounded pose, very different experience than a tree pose where it's a little less grounding. You're lifting your tailbone, firing into your glutes, your quads. Distributing weight on your heels, chest is open, arms radiate forward. Bend your knees further, pull down, soften the head, inhale halfway up. Exhale, release, and now step back into a downward facing dog, activating our imagination. Imagining you're inhaling through the pores of your skin, exhaling out the pores of your skin. Inhale. And then exhale, release, knees onto the mat.
Step back into a child's pose. You can still work with that exercise, inhaling through the pores of our skin, exhaling through the pores of our skin. If you have trouble concentrating, lengthen the length of your inhale and exhale just a little bit. 2 more breaths here. And now take that right hand to inch towards the left corner of the mat. Hold. Release. Take your left hand to reach the right corner of the mat. And then release. Ground both palms onto the mat. Lift into a tabletop. Protect your spine. Inhale into a cow and cat pose. You want to lift that tailbone in your cow pose and very purposely draw in that tailbone in your cat pose. And after another round here or 2, you'll start to make your way up to your seated position. Hips and hamstrings are open. You're anchoring your sit bones. Those are the bones near your glutes onto the mat. With presence, lengthen your spine. Draw your shoulders down. Inhale. And exhale. Gaze steady. Inhale. Exhale. Continue these deep breaths. You can either audibly exhale, sigh out, or mouth closed. Inhale, and then exhale. Now notice that when we move throughout our day, we tend to be very busy with our thoughts. We're not really embodied with our breath. So we forget what that full breath is. But that full breath is so helpful in releasing and integrating and balancing us physically, mentally, emotionally. So reacquaint yourself with that breath. Noticing that with each breath, you are grounded and supported. After another breath here or 2, we'll start to shift into a twist to support our lower back, mid back, upper back. We're going to take our left hand towards our right knee and then twist towards the right. Now I'm using my grip to intensify the twist, taking my chin towards my right shoulder. And then release. Now right hand onto my knee, I twist towards the left. Hold. Release, come back to center. Hands on knees, shoulders up towards your ears. Draw them down. Once again, a couple of times here at your own pace. You want to roll your shoulders up and back. You also want to experiment with shoulders up and forward. After you've taken a few rounds, start to drop your chin towards your chest. And then focus on neck rolls. either a full circle or just half a circle. What I mean by half a circle, it could be shifting your chin back and forth towards one shoulder or the next, either forward or back. Inhale. And then exhale. Release, come back to center. We're gonna go ahead and transition. Little core workout here first. Make sure you have room behind you to lay down. Palms up towards the ceiling. You're gonna release. Make sure your chin tucks towards your chest. Hover, legs split off the floor. You're using glute strength, quad strength, core strength, also strengthen the upper back. Engage your glutes for extra support. And now drop your heels, drop your head. Take a powerful breath here. And then both soles of the feet touch. Find different expressions here with your arms, hands that work for you. Palms can bring your hips up towards the ceiling. You can lift your arms up overhead, elbows bent, backs of the hands on the floor, or you can rest your hands in your belly, your chest. That'd be very purposeful here in softening neck down the spine, especially around the hips. You can perhaps imagine your knees melting further towards the floor. And you'll notice as you're laying here, there's like little pockets where you're tense or holding onto where you don't need to. So this is a very purposeful practice of softening and letting go. You can try a couple of deep belly breaths or start to transition your breath to a regular breath, no control of the breath. And then after a moment or two here, start to release the pose. So start to grip your feet with your hands. You can lengthen one knee more than the other. You can rock to the left to the right. You want to get that final stretch from the ankles and calves, hamstrings, hips, even towards your lower back, mid back. A few moments here. And then we'll release and shift into our final resting pose of the class. This is the purposeful pose to integrate your practice physically, mentally, emotionally. It's also a pose that teaches us the wisdom of slowing down, doing nothing, being still, noticing that a lot is accomplished even when we're doing nothing. We want to find that balance. Culturally, we emphasize doing. So we also want to balance out in being. Both have their benefits. But both can imbalance us if we spend too much time in one or the other. Soften your forehead, jaw, neck, shoulders, down to your wrists, palms, and fingertips. Noticing the metaphor there, we tend to hold on so much with our hands. Notice that metaphor of letting go. Notice a physical release of softening palms, fingertips. Soften the upper back, mid back, lower back. Down to your hips, behind your knees, ankles, and toes. And then we'll start to shift our attention back to our breath, inviting a generous inhale and exhale. Restore some movement to your fingertips and your toes. You can invite a full body stretch or turn your body to the left or to the right. Once again, returning to a generous and a leisurely breath. Inhaling, belly expanding, noticing that release as you exhale. Noticing that stillness and spaciousness cultivated throughout the class. Inhale and exhale here, another breath or two. And then after that breath, start to shift into your seated position. Find a comfortable seat. And then notice that as you welcome your breath, you welcome your experience. Notice in gratitude that it takes a lot to cultivate this practice. So always appreciate your efforts, even if sometimes it feels more challenging. Also appreciate the moments where you approach this work with ease. So we'll take our hands in front of our heart center. And in gratitude, take an intentional breath. We inhale here and exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. May we walk with each other in gratitude.